Awesome. So today on Chris C. Yates' podcast, still no other name yet to be yet made up, but we're still there. Today we've got for our first interviewee, we've got Jeff the Savage. He is in charge of Savage Marketing. I believe I read somewhere, used to work for a Fortune 100 company, and then decided to do your own thing. And killing it in the market. We met through another guy, and I was looking at using his services, and yeah, man, he knows his stuff. So instead of me telling your story, Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your backstory and what you do and how you do it?
Yeah, so I've always been in IT, love IT. I've always loved video games. Even right here, I don't know if they're going to be able to. For those of you that are listening to the podcast, I'm trying to show you that I've got a little gamer controller behind me here because it's a fun thing. Because when I grew up with video games back in the 80s and 90s, right, like that was like crazy. Now these kids are so dang spoiled, everything's touchscreen, right? So I've been bringing a little bit of retro gaming back into life, and I have a 7-year-old. Let me tell you, he loves the retro games like I did back then. So it's been fun. But
that's awesome.
I always envision myself as like a programmer, like a video game maker, or some sort of an IT person who's like creating cool apps and stuff before that was even cool. But then I went to college, and that was actually my first experience of burnout. In college, I went and I was like, I'm going to go into computer science, and make cool video games for my life. And then I realized, I can't sit behind a keyboard and smash keys all day, right?
Yeah.
So that was my first experience of burnout. I changed majors multiple times. I went into computer information systems, which was like a business degree with a computer emphasis. And then I was like, I didn't really like that either. And then I went into business, and I ended up the whole time, and hopefully some people can relate to this, but the whole time I went to college, like I had a full-time job, like I was busy in my IT career. Like I worked at a computer store and then a networking company. And then, by the time I had graduated college, I was already the IT coordinator for a school district out here in California. So I had literally, like, I was in college, but I already had a job people went to college to get,
Yeah. So you're already more advanced than a lot of people coming out of college.
I remember going to college and, here I am in my senior year in college. I'm the IT coordinator for a school district making, $75,000 a year or whatever. And like looking around at these kids, even a senior in college is like mentally a kid, and I'm like, oh man, like it was just such a different appreciation. But I will tell you, the first couple of years of college, it was just like a complete blur, right? Like partied and joined a fraternity and just like completely hopeless and didn't know what I was doing in life. And I think like most people that go to college to go there and then get indoctrinated with the ways of college instead of learning about real life.
Yeah. More about socializing than actually doing anything else.
Yeah, I think that you just kind of are really trying to learn what it's like to be an adult, and of course you make the worst decisions in college because of peer pressure and everything else.
I say they're the best decisions because you actually learn from your mistakes,
Yeah. Well, then in that case, Chris, I've had a lot of great mistakes.
There we go, Jeff.
Right?
All right, so you went to college. You got a job. Felt burnout already in the very beginning, as soon as you got to college, kind of thing. Then went off, decided going into IT and that, and got a job working for a school district while you were finishing your degree. What happened next?
Yeah. Well, then while I was working at the school district, I got recruited by a Philips Electronics to become an engineer for them.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And I went and shadowed a guy, and actually he told me that they had an engineer / kind of a project management team lead position available, and it paid a lot more, $25,000 more to start. And I was like, ooh, man, $100,000, like I haven't even graduated college yet. I was still going to college, right? It was funny because that was in 2012, so it wasn't even that long ago. But in 2012, I remember that when I had been hired, it was actually a requirement that you're supposed to have a bachelor's degree in business. And I remember telling them that I hadn't graduated yet, but I'm graduating this semester. But I had already had, like, 10 years of experience,
Yeah,
right? As a college grad, which is the opposite of everyone else, right?
yeah,
Everyone else has 10 years of college and no experience. Here I've had 10 years of college and 10 years experience because I've always had a full-time job. I always went to night classes at college. So that was my first taste that I was like, oh, wow, you know what? The world actually kind of tailors towards people that have experience and results over education. That was the first kind of experience that I had. The second experience was when I actually joined. I got recruited by Phillips to do this. The very first day on my very first interview for the job, I went in. I guess I had applied for this engineering job. He started asking me about my experience, and I told him about how I was an IT coordinator, how I had managed these projects and hired these third-party contractors to do installs for this equipment and this and that. And they were like, I think you've applied for the wrong job. I think you meant to apply for the project management job. So my very first interview, I already got promoted to project manager. Okay.
it
So
just
then,
shows, it shows like, I'm originally from the States, and it was all I remember even when I was going to university here in New Zealand, which I didn't end up getting any degrees, but even my parents being from the States, it was, you have to have a degree, you have to have a degree. But times have changed, haven't they? It's like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all about it's about what you know and what you can do and you can accomplish. Yes, the
right.
degree helps because you got a piece of paper to say that you did, but a lot of that stuff, as we follow Tony and Dean with what they're doing and all this knowledge stuff going. It's all about being able to have that knowledge, because a lot of this university and college stuff is all outdated anyway. But
You hit the nail on the head, brother. The thing with college today is it's really like a high school diploma back in the day, because they're teaching from books. I mean, most of the people that are at college teaching haven't had successful careers in life. They've become successful professors
hmm,
that, like, so
it's
that's
a,
the
and
thing. And look, by the way, I'm not capping on professors. I think
you're
it's
good.
still valuable to learn skills. And there are a lot of things that you learn in college, like how to be a good college professor. I don't know, but there are still some good things in there, like doctors and lawyers and all these professions that haven't been replaced by WebMD yet.
Yeah.
So what's really interesting here, though, is that my story is that I finally had the dream job. I had the dream life. I had everything going for me.
Yeah.
And that was when I started feeling the burnout. I started feeling the burnout when I got my third raise. I became a project manager 3. They put a 3 next to my name within 4 years. I got named top 5 project manager multiple times throughout my career there. And I felt like everything was going for me, but I just felt absolutely miserable at the same time, working 10, 12, 14-hour days sometimes. But then something happened.
Mm.
I figured out how to start basically outsourcing parts of my job that I didn't like, so that
Ah.
I could stay focused on what I call, well, now I've developed it into what I call the 90-10 rule, which is basically, focusing my life on the 10% that really lights me up. And it might be a cheat code here for not burning out, is that basically I've been able to delegate things I didn't like to do about my work, like creating Gantt charts and, doing documentation and stuff like that. I didn't like doing it. So I hired it out. I delegated it out, and it kept me doing what I actually enjoyed doing, which was, actually managing clients and, doing things that I want to do. Even in my own life, I was able to free up my time a little bit and have more time with my family, right? Like,
Yeah.
so many entrepreneurs, especially, they don't get a chance to even spend time with their dang families, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So for you, you started to get burned out, as a project manager, and then you figured out, well, why am I doing all these things that I don't enjoy doing, that are burning me out, that are emptying my tank and draining me? So why don't I just get other people to do it? So how did you look? Obviously, you were managing people and that. How did you get how'd you make sure that those people didn't get burned out by giving them more workload?
It's really important that the people that do specific things for you actually enjoy it. Like for me, it's not my joy in life to do data entry, to do Gantt charts. For some people, that's what they love to do,
Yeah.
right? And I think what's really important is, and now I have a team, I've since left Philips and I've started my own virtual assistant company that and project management. And, I do, you introed me as a savage marketing guy, the savage marketer, but it didn't always start out that way. It was me trying to find my purpose too, right? Like most people. And when I had finally left, the corporate world to become an entrepreneur, it was like, man, it was kind of like, wow, it was a shock. It was like a slap in the face. It was like, oh, so that's what it's like, right? To work on your own. Everyone thinks it's some big dream. And then you get the reality check. You're like, damn, I can't go to my boss. I can't complain to employees. I can't complain to fellow project managers about how horrible my boss is. I'm the boss. I'm the reason why I'm not making money. I'm the reason why my job sucks.
And you can't complain to your clients or to anybody. Like literally there's nobody. It's like you can complain to your spouse, but then they look at you and go, and you wanted to do this?
Exactly. And you know what? You want to talk about burnout? I moved in with here I am, a 30-something-year-old man with a 3-year-old kid and a wife. And I literally moved in with my grandparents because when I left my job, my 100,000 plus a year salary, plus company car, company phone, company computer, company, I had a $75 allowance that I could charge for food. That's how I got fat.
Wow.
Like I didn't have to deal with anything. They took care of everything in my job, in my life. I had to give my printer back when I quit. Like I had nothing. So I literally moved in with my grandparents. And you want to talk about feeling depressed? I really worked hard to get all of that kind of set up and knocked out. And I didn't really have a complete plan when I left. I just knew that I started to build a team. I started to build my own team, like on the side. Here's something, guys, if you're going to leave your job, I would totally highly recommend start building your side hustle now so that you have a little bit of, yeah, sure. Like you might not be happy with your 9 to 5, but at least let it fund your 5 to 9, like what you're doing after work. Like
just put the hustle in, put it in, put the time in now so that you don't. I mean, I was a little bit different to you. I left because I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was so burned out that I had to get out of it just for a while.
Yeah,
and I was lucky that I wasn't the main bread earner, so we just had to cut down tight on things. But yeah, it's if you have that opportunity where you can go, okay, cool. It will actually fill your tank back up at those times because you're enjoying what you're doing outside of whatever's burning you out. You've got this passion, this why, this drive for that thing that is yours, that you're developing. So yeah, no, that's great advice.
Exactly. And that was the thing, like I decided to go all in, and, I wasn't even really making that much money at the time, but I packed my wife and my 3-year-old son up and we went to the Philippines where the majority of my staff was. And I ended up investing in an office space over there, and I built out a team. And now here I am, many years later, with a team of, almost 60 people. Just that first year when I left, it wasn't even that long ago, 2016. In 2016, when I left, I was making, 100 grand plus. And it felt like really rewarding and stuff. And I remember thinking, man, I'll never be able to how long is it going to take for me to replace this income? That very first year, 2016, I made $250,000, $250,000 by myself. Right now, I also found the reality of how much I'm able to keep of that money. Right. But now obviously, I've done well over $1 million, over $1.5 million in my business since then. It's been a really fun time growing the business. And I've been able to team up with some really great other entrepreneurs. And I think that one of the things, here's a great tip. And I know we have a whopping 7 minutes left, but I want to give people something super valuable here. Yeah. And this is something I wish someone would have told me when I left. is that it's so important, guys, to start finding the right people that you can align with to help you in your business. And I don't mean like people to help pay for you and this and that or whatever. I mean, like you have to find a community of people like Jake Cortez, who I know you're going to interview in another podcast.
Yeah.
Like he's the kind of person who just drives me. He pushes me, you know, like he recommends me to other people. Right. And trying to find strategic partnerships too. Like Jake knows that he's a great salesman. He can bring me people and I will pay him a commission to bring me people in.
Yeah.
Find people that will help you along your journey, whether you're a policeman or a firefighter, or whether you're an entrepreneur or a marketing agency, or you own a gym. You have to have people that you can align with to really help pull you up, especially to fight the burnout.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. The people that you surround yourself with, you end up being the average of. So Tony Robbins said that at a business conference that I went to. He's like, you are the average of the top 7 people you hang around with. So hang around with some pretty top people.
I agree. And I'm also a firm believer in the old saying that if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I like that one. So Jeff, I got one more question for you, because as you know, I'm a huge why person. I believe your why, your purpose drives you every day, and it'll take you through those tough times and get you to the good times. Like when you first started, not making anything. How am I ever going to make that 100K a year again? And the first year, revenue wise, you did 250. Now you're doing over $1.5 million. So what is it that drives you, that keeps you going through not just the easy times, but also the hard times? What do you say that your why is?
Well, one thing's for sure. Your why has to be really freaking strong. And the reason being is because you will be tested. Just last year.
Sorry, Jeff, sorry to interrupt. Just so viewers know, because I know we've got a broad spectrum of viewers here. It's not just entrepreneurs. We're not talking just for entrepreneurs. We're not talking for people that are self-employed. We're talking for people, even the EA that is working. You have to have a why that you're there. Otherwise, you will get burned out, Jeff.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you have to really have a strong why, like what it is that you're doing, and not even just like what it is that you're doing, but like why you're doing it. Like I know people that right now they're doing really good in their job and they're not even really happy with their job, but because their kids need them so much, like it doesn't even matter. Like they're going to get up and they're going to get through the crap because they know their kids need them, And that's the thing, like, it doesn't matter what it is, what your why is. I think a lot of people feel like, and I know this is going to sound like complete opposite of what the society tells you. Society tells you to do what you love. Sometimes the best things you can do is not do what you love. I love video games. I play video games all day if I could. And some people are lucky enough. But guess what? I suck at video games, so I could never be a professional gamer or whatever. Maybe I could be a professional streamer and entertain people while I play horribly. But,
so you got another business idea.
Right? So maybe there it is, right? I could be Dr. Horrible or something and just be horrible at the games. But at the end of the day, I think what really matters is that, like, for me, I feel very fortunate and blessed that I know that what I do every day helps people. And I think this is what's really awesome about me being able to grow virtual teams. And because I own a virtual assistant company, not only am I helping my clients actually save time from not having to do a bunch of stuff. Like I don't know anyone who wakes up every day and is like looking at their podcast recordings going, boy, I can't wait to go through this and chop it up into a bunch of audio clips and video clips for my audience. Like, I don't know anyone who wakes up saying that. And at the same time, I have a team of videographers, video editors, and audio people that, like, that's what they love. Like, they wake up excited to do the stuff I don't like to do, right? Yeah. I mean, just a full disclosure for everybody listening here, Chris has already been talking about starting a podcast, but last week we got on a phone call and I kicked his ass and I said, dude, you need to start a podcast. And I was like, I'll be your first guest. Get me on. And here I am, right? And I think that says a lot about you, Chris. And for everyone who's listening out there that needs that motivation, like, I highly recommend, one of the things you can do if you're struggling with figuring out your why is that you can also get into podcasting and just listen, download a podcast from an industry that you're interested in, and start off that day. You're going to hear great ideas. You're going to hear great things. And I think that the stimulation that we have around us, like you said, the sum of the people around us is so important. And you have to start kind of engulfing yourself. You really do need to become kind of obsessed with what you do. If you're a psychologist, get on start listening to psychology podcasts. If you're a teacher, start getting into the teaching groups and listening to the podcasts and whatever else. If you're a policeman, firefighter, start listening to these resources, because you need to be constantly inspired and reminded why you do what you do.
Yeah, yeah. So many people, being an ex-police officer myself, I lost my why. I had a really deep one when I first joined, and then I lost it. And I know so many that do lose it. And it's not just police, but it's everybody. The whole burnout thing is normally, from what I've found within myself and having clients, and that is, you normally get burned out because you lose that why. You're like, why the hell am I going to work every day? Oh, another day, another dollar. How many times have you heard that? I mean, another day, another dollar is just literally them saying, I don't know why I'm actually coming to work. Why am I actually doing it? And your why can be, like you said, I need to be providing for my kids. That's a good start. And then you dig deeper into it. So Jeff, what is your why? Why do you do what you do every day?
Well, obviously, I do have a family, and that's a really strong thing. But, and of course, we all want to do better for our family. But one of the things that really excites me, kind of like what I was hinting to earlier, is that, like, I know when I get to help, I've kind of positioned myself as the win-win-win, because I'm helping people find help to do things they don't want to do. I'm finding people that want to do that stuff that people don't want to do. And I'm getting paid, and they're getting paid, and everyone's getting paid. So I'm basically being able to help other people optimize their life, and of course, I like helping people make money. To me, I would say that that's probably one of the most fun things to do. You and I have a mutual friend, Jake Cortez, who brought me in to work with a really cool project with, you probably know Grant Cardone,
Yeah.
and another guy named Gary Brecka. He's the CEO of a medical wellness company. It's called Streamline Wellness. And with all this whole coronavirus craze, there's been a lot of misinformation about the virus and the body. And, Gary Brecka, who's the CEO of this kind of like really kind of like cutting edge medical company, he's talking about how, the best thing to do for the coronavirus is actually to prepare your immune system so that when you come in contact with it, because more than likely you will sometime in your life, coronavirus isn't new.
Yeah.
That your body will be able to deal with it, right? Because it's a virus. It's a type of like a flu almost, right? Influenza. And so he was talking about, like, getting some supplements together, boosting up on your vitamin A and your vitamin D3 and your vitamin K, and also some different things you can do with your diet just to be prepared and things like that, get some nutrients in. And then afterwards he was like, hey, we should throw out a link to one of our supplement immune booster bundles or whatever. Yeah, good idea. We put together a landing page real quick. We put a video of him and some big celebrity that he did an interview with. The video went viral. We put the video embed inside a simple ClickFunnels account, simple funnel. And then we basically sent the video out to his people, and we got like $10,000 in sales for supplement.
And
right?
That's an awesome thing that he's gone, okay, cool. I'm just giving advice away because this is what people need right now. And it's kind of what I've been saying to people, like, keep exercising, keep moving, keep eating healthy, keep hydrating, and prevent yourself, because they're saying everybody's going to get this thing. It's a matter of when, not if. But
exactly.
And so he's done that, and then you've helped him to then go on and go, okay, how do we make some income off of this so that you can then go and help more people because that, and that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, if you can make some money off of something, you can then reinvest it and help more people, and then help more people and help more people.
It's funny that you say that, because I had approached my funnel builder, one of my funnel builders, with this issue. And I said, hey, look, I'm working on this funnel and I can't get something to work. And he looked at the funnel. He goes, you're not going to do what I think you're about to do with the coronavirus, are you? You're not going to take advantage of this and make money on it. And I was like, okay, first off, this is a guy who really knows his crap. He knows about the health. He knows about the body. He knows about the immune system probably better than most medical professionals. I mean, doctors paid this guy to come and teach them new science, right? Because it's changed so much.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm helping him get his vision out and his solution out, this training that he's done. And he puts together really great training on how it all works and the molecules and how the white blood cells work and how your immune system works, and how if you don't have the right nutrients in your body, your immune system doesn't work right. And then he says, look, here's the 3 supplements you need. If you want to get it, he discounted it. He discounted it drastically from it's usually $100 for the bundle down to $69. He says, with all this going on, I want to take some of the profit out and throw this to you guys. So there's basically a $30 profit margin that he's wiped clean, because he sells it all day for $100. And he's like, I just want everyone to get this. So if you guys want it, go over here and grab it, get your coupon code for $30 off, whatever. And I'm helping people. It's another win-win situation. I'm helping people boost their immune systems and get healthy. Yeah, right? I'm helping him make money, and I'm helping people get healthy to help stand up against the coronavirus. Like, again, it's a win-win again.
Yeah, you're meeting. I mean, we have to. People are like, you can't be, don't be selfish in these times. And it's like, well, if I'm not somewhat selfish, and selfish is kind of probably a bad word, but if I'm not somewhat selfish and going, okay, cool, I still need to be able to pay my mortgage, and I still need to pay for my debt of school or whatever is going on. Because if I give all this for free, one, people don't actually take the value of it, and 2, then I can't help more people down the track. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. And then what ends up happening is you get burned out, because you're like, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm not actually getting any return. Why the hell am I doing this? Screw it all. And then you stop, and then nobody's getting anything.
I think that deep down, and this will help somebody with their burnout too. I think at the deep down core of what we do, most humans like to help people. And whether you're flipping burgers, right, or you're a doctor, or you're a consultant, or you're a marketer, like, I help people make money. I help people save time by hiring, virtual teams. As a matter of fact, I'm giving back. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, but I'm teamed up with digitalmarketer.com, which is the biggest, this is the biggest name in digital marketing. I'm doing a free training on Friday, depending on when this goes out. I'm doing a free training, basically, that I'm giving away my time for an hour to digital marketer community. They're going to blast it out to thousands and thousands of people. A free training on how to build a remote team and how to communicate effectively, how to move to a remote environment, how to use a Zoom call like this, right? How to train and manage your team, how to actually have good accountability goals and things like that. And I run a team that's 100% remote. People are mind blown when they find out. I hire people in South America. I just hired someone yesterday from Colombia. Okay. Colombia. I've had people from Brazil. I have people from the Philippines. I have people in Singapore, in Australia, in the UK. I've hired people from 17 different states here in America. Yeah. Like, I've hired people in New Zealand.
Yeah. I mean, the awesome thing is that, with what's going on right now, with us having, people being in isolation and it's actually a perfect thing, because you can still earn money, be able to pay your mortgage. And you can also keep helping people by doing what you're doing, and like being able to do this right now, on Zoom calls. So that's awesome, Jeff. I really praise you for that. So if somebody's looking for help with their marketing or creating a virtual, assistant team, how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, guys, super simple. You can just go to my website, jhunter.com, Jeff, the letter J, hunter.com. When you, or you can Google me, of course. I'm super excited and proud that I'm finally Google verified now. So woo! So now if you Google my name, Jeff, the letter J, Hunter, you'll see like a little knowledge panel pop up that says like, Jeff J. Hunter is an American entrepreneur best known for his, so that was really cool. Although it says I'm a motivational speaker, I don't think I'm very motivational, but hey, today was pretty motivational.
I'm motivated, Jeff.
Yeah. So yeah, come check me out, guys. I'm always more than happy to assist you guys. Especially, listen, if you're listening to this right now, and you're struggling in really understanding, and really waking up every day with joy and passion for what you do. Like, I just hope that you guys all subscribe to the Chris Chandler-Yates podcast. This guy, he is a rock star. He really cares about the people that he works with and that are listening in. So I'm going to do my plug for you, bro, because everyone should be subscribing to the podcast. Get over there to iTunes, rate this thing a 5 out of 5, man. Like, blow this thing up, leave a comment, and really just get the word out, because this is his why. And it's so important that we all support each other's why.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I really, really do appreciate that. You give me goosebumps. So last question I have for you. I like to ask this one just, to give viewers, and I know you've given people a lot of advice even on this already, but what's one thing you'd tell, viewers, listeners, to help prevent or even counter that burnout if they're feeling like they're drained or they're just, have lost their direction?
I think that the most important thing you can do is know thyself. And it's really, really important to do a gut check once in a while, because sometimes we look at things and we say, man, maybe this isn't what I want to do. And sometimes you just have to commit, and I think that if you are waking up every day and your why isn't strong and you're thinking like, why am I doing this every day? There's nothing wrong with that. That's your body and your mind telling you that there's something not in alignment with what you're doing. And the first thing that I would do is start writing down a list. This is crazy. This is crazy how much you can discover, Chris. Just write down, just have a little list that you have, whip out your phone and go through what you do every day. Because there's stuff on there, and afterwards, when you're done with your day, or maybe do it for a couple days, right? Because not every day is the same. But let's give you a week. With a week, you're going to pretty much know what you're doing every day. Okay, so give it a week, and then go back through there and just simply rate everything you do from 1 to 10 on if you like it or not. If you don't like it, it's a 1. If you like it a lot, it's a 10. And just start rating stuff. And then start separating out the things that you love doing and what you don't love doing. And then find a plan. How do I get rid of the things that I don't love to do? Like, for example, we've talked about this before, Chris, on a call before. I wish that one was recorded, but I'll give a paraphrase. I've pretty much gotten to the point to where everything that I want to do and I enjoy to do is what I do every day.
Yeah. And
I've built a team around me to do everything else that I don't want to do, right? Yep. I don't do my own podcast recordings. I don't do my own video editing. The only things I do are the stuff I like, which is building teams. I love writing copywriting. I love doing appearances like this. I love teaching, and I love developing products and services and courses and trainings. And like, that's the stuff I love to do now. Like, and I love making people money. I love setting up funnels and writing copy and doing social media posts. And like, even today, when I had my call with digitalmarketer.com, they were blown away because we were coming up with these ideas I was going to train on. And afterwards I said, ooh, that's really great. And on a Zoom call live, I actually wrote a Facebook post for them to advertise our training on Friday together. And they were just like, wow, thanks for doing my job. Right. like every day, if you're waking up and you're not like excited to do the stuff that people will pay you for free, then you're probably not doing it right. So again, separate everything out into a list, scale everything from 1 to 10, and really look hard at that list and say, how can I get rid of these things that are a 5 and below? And how can I start doing the things that are 6 and above?
And that might even mean finding a different job.
It might be. I had to do it. I took the leap on February 29th of 2016. So leap day. That wasn't that long ago,
No.
right? So, I mean, technically, because it was leap day when I quit, this is my first year. It's a leap year this year. So my first anniversary, not my first year, but my first anniversary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, think about it, guys. I think Chris is really doing something great here. I hope you all support him. And man, I'm just honored to be here on the show.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate you being on the show, and thanks for that kick in the ass a little while back. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, and you're like, you have to do it, and so I was like, okay, that day, episode 1 came out. So, oh, awesome, Jeff. So yeah, so it's jeffjhunter.com, correct? For anybody
Yep.
who looking for wanting to do that, if you're in that space, or even if you just want to get some more information from Jeff, I'm sure he and his team will flick you some info and give you some good advice to get you kick started. He did it for me. We didn't end up working together, but he gave me a ton of great advice, which was awesome. So thank you for that, Jeff.
We will. You're gonna have a lot of podcast episodes.
Definitely are. That's the new thing. So yeah. So anyways, thanks again, and thanks to all you guys listening. And I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, rate it, all the stuff that you need to do, and we will talk to you on the next episode. Remember, we're going live over. We launch a new episode every week on a Friday here in New Zealand, which is a Thursday in the U.S.
Boom.
So, awesome, guys. We'll talk soon.